going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome to another Flex's View this morning. Big up yourselves, man. I hope everyone's doing well. We got to talk about Nev, man. I know a lot of people will be having their say. Obviously, I just need to catch up on that, have my 10 pence. It's too strong what he's been doing to Benjamin Sesko. Can't lie. Can't lie. Now, listen, I'm all for criticism. I'm all for fair criticism. I'm also not really like too, I don't know, like emotional with it. Like, you know, like obviously you want that balance between protecting your players and shutting up shop and siege mentality, us against the world, versus like just saying things how they are. Like, I'm not really lovey-dovey like that. Like I don't get offended if you just say things as they are. But I do get, like I say, it's about that balance. Like I said, the B word, you do need that balance between young players at this football club, big signings coming in, and being in a position of responsibility. Do you know what I'm saying? Emotionally, you know what I mean? And sort of physically in the public, as Gary Neville is, as a Man United legend, as a ex-Manchester United captain. I would like to see a little bit more fairness. And then obviously you sort of brandishing figures and you're like, you can sort of step back a bit and leave the lazy narratives and leave the real misinformations and mishaps to the real haters, which shouldn't be Gary Neville. So I see why everyone's kicking off. I think there's bits in what he's saying where it's like, we want to see more from him and this, that and the other, which are like obvious statements. We all want to see more. We're all waiting for more to happen for Benjamin Sesko, which it will, because he's a young player who's growing. But at the same time, we want to give him patience. We want to give him time, and we want to support him in a time where, you know, the rival fans can do that. The rival fans can say the wrong price tags. You know, when Gary Neville was sort of saying £80 million and that, when, let's be real, I think it's rising to 73 million, and it's like a 63 million up front. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's already like, he ain't 80 million though, is he? So let's not, do you know what I mean? Let's not do that. Like, you're just adding on, you're just doing the lazy narrative of, you know, oh, he costs this much and I expect to see more. You know, saying he looks awkward. I mean, also, I don't agree with that statement that he looks awkward. I actually think he's got a good technique. I think he can take the ball quite well. He can get on a half turn. He's brought some players into play quite a few times, and he's getting a feel of it. Does he make some bad decisions? Yes. Has he been wasteful at times? Yes. But again, he like Gary Neville also says in the same criticism that he is young and he is still, you know, settling in. Right, there you go. He's young and he's settling in. That's it. That's it. And I do have seen a lot of people draw comparisons to like Gerrard and Carragher and stuff, where they're like, actually, would you see them going for the young players who just come to Liverpool? You don't. When you see Wirtz and Ekitike and stuff, you know, Carragher can't wait to defend these guys, because essentially they're his guys. When you've seen Gary Neville in the past, when he's shared a dressing room with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for so long, and, you know, in public, when we were doing really badly under Ole, he was doing the siege mentality of like, no, that's my friend. I'm not throwing him under the bus. I'm not saying get him out the job or he should lose his job. I'm not going to say that. So where's that same energy? Obviously, the same energy is not there because Ole's his friend. He shared a dressing room with for 20 years. But I do think that we want to see a little bit more of that tribalism. You do, especially, do you know what it is? Especially from someone like Neville, of who he is in our football club. You know, yeah, you can tell an odd little white lie. Say, listen, I think he's been doing great. Even over Egget. Say, well, I'll tell you what, he's a young lad. He's got 3 goals. He's got 2 goals. He's got 2 goals. He's got a couple of assists the last few games. Starting to find his feet. And I think he's going to be fantastic. Just boost him up, bro. It costs nothing for you to boost him up. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's the annoyance, is the fact that he's adding to a pylon. You know, he already got called by the Athletic the worst signing of the summer. Total nonsense. And I think it's doing him a disservice. I think it's a bit disingenuous to compare Benjamin Sesko to Cunha and Mbeumo, who are getting on like a house on fire. You know, well, obviously, they've played in the Premier League a long time and they're way more experienced than Benjamin Sesko. Like, our reward, we have to remember, our reward for buying Cunha and Mbeumo is them hitting the ground running. Do you know what I mean? Is them being Premier League ready? Is them not needing as much time to settle in? Is them not being as nervous at Man United? Do you know what I'm saying? Basically what we're seeing from Mbeumo. And essentially, I know Cunha's only scored 1 goal, but overall, his performances are of a player who's played in the Premier League, and you don't have to baby him. You don't have to worry about him. We ain't got that luxury of Benjamin Sesko. He's 22 years of age. Do you know what I mean? And trying to draw the Rasmus Højlund comparison or say it's, another more money wasted and stuff. I know it's big money, but it's like, what, 62 and a bit up front, and the rest will come in add-ons should he do what he should be doing. So he's a 60-odd million pound signing, which is about the going rate these days for players. And okay, he hasn't scored as much as Voltemada straight away, or, obviously Gyökeres is scoring goals because he plays for Arsenal, but he hasn't looked great. Like, he'll be all right. But I think the point remains, like, if you're Gary, you just don't want to see our guy doing the pylon. Leave that to Carragher, and then we can just cuss him. Leave that to flip him, Gerrard, and then we can just cuss him. Leave that to bloody, do you know what I mean? Anyone else who wants to just hate on him, you don't do it to that level. Like, again, when he's like, I want to see him more involved. Like, if we have an honest conversation about Benjamin Sesko, I think the general consensus is that, listen, he's a young guy, he's doing well. I think the last 4 games he's really started to find himself. I think when he first come, you can see why the manager wasn't playing him, a little bit off it. Match sharpness wasn't there. And then there's different horses for different courses. Look, it worked against Liverpool to not play Benjamin Sesko. He played him in the next couple of games because he wanted to build his confidence. It will come. You can see some nice traits there. He's good in the air. He's winning flick-ons. He's getting more confident. He's got a couple of assists. Like, it's coming. It's fine. Like, it's, when it's just something that doesn't need to be spoken about yet. Don't get me wrong. When we get, we're 10 games into the Premier League. When we get, further down and down the season and we're in February and we're still having a conversation that he's only on 3 goals and it's not really working for him, etc., etc. We'll have the honest conversations. But right now, after 10 games, to be like, he looks awkward, I need more and stuff, and for 80 million, I expected more. You're getting the prices wrong. You add into the pylon, and you can take the pressure off. Look at Ian Wright. Look at Ian Wright with the Arsenal kids. You think he'll do that about Miles Lewis-Skelly? You think he'll do that about Ethan Nwaneri? You think he'll do that about Max Dowman? And then even with the signings, do you think he'll do that with Noni Madueke? No, he won't. He won't. He'll say these guys need time and this, that, and the third. He won't do that. So I think because there's more examples of other legends protecting their players, and I'm not saying he's come through the academy so he owes an extra tax, but there's other sort of traits that are being showed by more bias. There's more bias being shown by other guys towards their clubs, and we want to see a little bit more of it from Gary Neville. Listen, I'm not easily offended by like stuff usually. I mean, I remember when Jamie Carragher was cussing our midfield a couple of seasons ago under Eric Ten Hag, and everyone was cussing me for saying, but Flex, F him, he's Liverpool. And I'm like, I don't care that he's Liverpool. He's right. Our midfield is way open. We're like a bagel. We're getting run through. I think it was after the Fulham game. That season when we was just getting run through every game. That season for Casemiro was just left on an island. Like, it was time to talk about that. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't mind sometimes who the messenger is, but in this case, I do get the outrage, and I just think it's too strong. So for me, ease off, Gary. You can just give the kid a little bit more time. Do you know what I mean? A little bit scathing for me when everyone else is sort of like, we can see the positives as well. So yeah, smash the like on the video, guys. Let me know what you think of GNev's comments. Is it too far, or are we being snowflakes? Do you know what I'm saying? Or are we validated in this sort of outrage towards him because of how he's moving towards some of our players? Let me know. Smash the like. I'm out of it, guys. And subscribe to United View if you haven't done so already. I'm out of it. Peace.